Okay, so we're going to be doing the skills checkoff. So I pulled elbow flexion, scapular adduction, C8 sensory, and C6 reflex. So to start off, we're going to do the MMT with elbow flexion. So I'm going to have you lay on your stomach for me, please. So with scapular adduction, you're testing the middle trap only. So in order to do that, you're going to have your patient bend their elbow to 90 degrees, and you're just going to have them pinch their shoulder blades together. So can I have you do that for me really quick? Perfect. And so because she can do it, then you would do it in this position. If she couldn't do it on her own, we would move to a gravity eliminated position, which would be her sitting with her arm out on the table and retracting her scapula. So I'm going to stabilize on the contralateral shoulder, and I'm going to be feeling for that muscle activation when she goes to retract. So I'm going to have you do that one more time for me. Perfect, and relax. And now to apply the force, I'm going to be pushing into the scapula, like to the opposite side. So I'm going to have you do that for me again. And go. And relax. So because she was able to hold that, that would be a 5 out of 5. And then again, if she were to break, it would be a 4 out of 5. And then if she couldn't hold it with resistance, we would move to a gravity eliminated position. Okay, you can sit up now. Okay, so then I have elbow flexion for my range of motion. So I'm gonna have you sit. Okay, so for range of motion for elbow flexion, the axis is going to be on the lateral epicondyle, and then the moving arm is going to be the radial styloid, which is right here, and then the stationary arm is going to be the acromion process. So to find the acromion, I'm gonna have you sit up a little bit. So I'm just gonna follow the clavicle out until I find the end, and then it's gonna be right there. So that's gonna be my stationary. All right, so I'm gonna have you just do a full range of motion first. Beautiful. So she can do that. So now we're gonna do active. So I'm gonna line this up here. Now I'm gonna have you flex your arm for me. Good. And so she got 145, which is normal because normal range of motion is 140 to 150. All right. And now we're gonna do passive range of motion. And normally we would also start at like 0, but that's okay. Now we're starting at 0. Alright, and I'm gonna do it for you here. Yep, and then that time we got 150, so again within range of motion, which is 140 to 150. So now we're gonna do the sensory test. So you can keep your shirt rolled up. So you would normally test the unaffected side first for sensory, and because it's C8, we're gonna be doing the medial and hypothenar part of the arm. So let's say her right arm is the one that's affected. I'm gonna do the test on her left side first. So I'm gonna be doing a sharp and dull test. So with a paper clip, it doesn't hurt, it's just a little sharp. And then this will be dull. So I'm gonna do it on this side. So right here, sharp and dull. Are you able to tell the difference? Mm-hmm. Okay, perfect. So I'm gonna do it on this side. You're gonna tell me if it's sharp or dull, okay?
Sharp. Dull. Dull. Sharp.
Perfect. All right, now we're gonna do the same thing on the affected side. Obviously she doesn't have an impairment right now, but she might, so we'll find out. Okay, ready? Eyes closed. Perfect. All right, you can open your eyes. Now we are going to be doing the reflex test, and for that I have C6. So to test that, we're going to find the brachioradialis. So to do that, I'm going to have you flex your arm up. So yep, we're going to feel that right here. Okay, do that one more time. All right, and then we're going to find that muscle, and then we're just kind of going to palpate down to find that tendon. Can you do it one more time for me? Okay. All right, now I'm going to have you relax. So you really want the patient to relax in order to get the reflex. Actually, can I just sit up here because you're kind of low? Perfect. Okay. So I'm holding over the tendon, and I'm just going to do a light tap. And you're going to ask them if they're normally hyper-reflexive or if they don't have a lot of reflex. That's hypo. And then if they have like a larger reflex, that could be hyper, which would be a 4+. And then if there's no contraction at all, then that would be a 0. So she had a little bit of movement, so I would give that a 2+. And yeah. So again, to recap, I did MMT, shoulder adduction, range of motion, elbow flexion, which she should have done from 180, which I realized after. And then she did a sensory C8 and a reflex C6.